I applied everywhere on LinkedIn. Almost 100 jobs got ghosted, rejected, and ignored. But the actual job which I got was from a casual conversation between me and the HR at a career fair which I wasn't intending to attend. So if you are tired of applying online and getting rejected, then this is the video which will talk about different approach towards job application which helped me to get a job even before graduation. But before we move on, if this is your first video here, I'm Tanmay, a full-time data analyst and a part-time YouTuber living in Ireland. And on this channel, I talk everything about moving abroad, settling down, getting a job and everything around that, so that it will help you move abroad, gain clarity without losing your mind while in the process. So let's get started with the actual video. I'll lay out this video in terms of a gamification analogy where I'll share what is a beginner mistakes, then how I progress to the second one, then third, then fourth, then fifth, and along the way you can pick up things, and at the end I'll also give you an action plan which you can implement right away to get a job even before graduation or as soon as possible. So let's get started. First is the beginner level. In this level, it's usually about fixing the resume and your LinkedIn profile. Initially when I came here, my only goal was to get a part-time first, and then I'll start applying for full-time. As soon as I came, started applying for part-time, got one around October, and my day one was 1st of November 2022, and then my entire focus became, now I have to focus on getting a full-time offer. The goal was to get it before graduation, which eventually happened, but I wasn't sure back then. So around November, I started applying to jobs through LinkedIn Easy Apply or through the portals, and the first thing which I did was catering my resume towards a software developer role, because I come from a computer science background and software engineering was something which I was passionate about. Although I had enrolled in masters in business analytics, but because it was early in the career, early months in the semester, so I was like, okay, I might apply for software engineering, and then once the semester is done, once I'm graduated, then I'll start towards data analysis, business analysis side of domain, so that I can showcase my projects and everything. So that's how I started. So started applying right, left, center, and I think there's no surprise in this, got rejected every right, left, center. I was applying around in the evening or something, and I used to get the rejection right away within 3-4 hours, or early in the morning around 7:30 or something, that unfortunately we have decided to move with someone else and your profile is good but not for this time, and blah blah blah. Which then I talked with my professor, and then she said that, bro, this is because your resume is not getting shortlisted within the ATS system. And I was like, okay, because what happens is these emails are usually auto generated, and if you are facing this, then probably it is your resume which needs fixing. So she told me, use keywords, frame it in a better way, change the format to the Irish format, name and everything, put your work experience first, or if you don't have experience, you are a fresher, then put projects first, and achievements first, and then all the things around it, education and all that later on. So first you have to put your best foot forward, which is your skills, your tools and everything. So I was like, okay, I'll cater the resume accordingly. So I spent a lot of time in catering my resume, as well as I optimized my LinkedIn profile, and as she mentioned that to include my LinkedIn profile on the resume. So I added profile picture, a good cover picture, started describing every single role which I was doing, what I learned during my undergrad and everything, and also posted few posts around the project which I did, IEEE paper publication and everything around that. Now let's move on to level 2, which is attending career fairs. First we'll sip coffee. So career fairs are really underrated. It's a gold mine where you have opportunity to connect with recruiters, to have a conversation with them, ask for their LinkedIn, and have a good establish a good relationship. Now if you are an introvert and you think, I shouldn't be doing this, or I am afraid of this, bro, you have to, or sis, you have to do it. Because see, the thing is, don't you want a job? No one's gonna hand it to you. You have to go out there and grab that opportunity, so for that you have to be bold, you have to talk to people and everything. So my first career fair was around, I think, November-ish. I don't remember clearly the date, but it was around that period. So I went in the career fair, gave my email address to a lot of people. So the way it happens is there are companies, they have stalls, and then a representative would be there, and they'll just sign up your name and everything on a piece of paper, like email and all, and then they'll contact you later on if they find that your profile is interesting. So that is how it works. And also the university had provided us with a list of companies who were coming, the job roles they were looking for, like open job roles with a link to apply. And even if you move to a particular company's job profile, they will give you a code to scan, and if you scan that, you'll see all the open roles, and then you can apply right away. Yo man, like me, what I did was I went in the career fairs, wrote my emails and everything. There were so many freebies and everything. I just went, grabbed everything, like I don't know like what I was thinking, but I did that. That was my first career fair, and then came home with this huge things like goodies, bottles, pen, journaling books, because I love diaries and everything. So like diaries, tons of diaries, which I am using as well. But the point was not getting all that free stuff. The point was getting a job, which I didn't work towards, and then realized, oh shit, this is not how it is done. So now we'll cover what to do actually at a career fair. One more mistake which I did was, so when I got the links to apply for the job, like open portals and everything, I did not apply. I don't know why. Like the chronic procrastinator inside me was like, oh yeah, there's a deadline around like 1 month from now, 2 months from now, so just why bother now, I'll apply later on and all that. But then back then, since I was not that proactive kind of person and Ali hadn't entered my life that much, so I ended up not applying to almost 40% of the job roles. So basically I had handed out, I was given that, bro, apply here, they are looking for jobs, they are looking for candidates, and I didn't apply. 40%, like imagine, out of I think 100-ish, I didn't apply for 40 jobs. I was like, shit, like I missed the deadlines literally. But then to those where I applied, because I had resume and LinkedIn in place already from the level 1, the level 2 slightly got me to the interviews, at least to the aptitude test and to the coding test. So I did the aptitude, did the coding rounds for a few couple of things for a few couple of companies. But obviously because I wasn't in touch and I don't know, like winging it or something like that, I couldn't crack the coding round. And back then, of course, ChatGPT was not a thing, and I don't recommend anyone using like cheating and all that, but couldn't do that. So at least the best part was I was getting these aptitude tests, the resume was getting shortlisted, and now I was reaching to the next phase of the interview process, which was great. So the next time second career fair happened, which was around Jan, and then obviously the big career fair, which is around November, was the big one with all the open roles and everything. And the second career fair, usually not a lot of companies show up, and lesser number of companies show up, and the number of open roles are very less, the number of graduate roles are also less. But then I was like so determined, do not focus, go laser sharp, talk to the HRs, have a conversation with them. So I went in, asked them for their LinkedIn profile. I literally sent the connection request right away there itself, and then just sent a text saying hi. And so because then if like let's say if we are friends, and if I ask you, hey, what's your Instagram, and then you like told me your Instagram ID, and I just said, hey, I mean, I'm just standing right in front of you, right? You will bother to open it and just like at least follow back or drop me a reply back or something, right? The chances of this happening are way higher, right? So that's how I approached in the second career fair, which got me a lot of like almost, I don't know percentage wise, but which got me a really good opportunities. But since the overall basket of job opportunities were very low, I couldn't get the role by then. But then this was the whole thing. Then there was another third career fair. I remember this day exactly because it was Mahashivratri and I was fasting. I didn't want to go out. Of course, I think it was Saturday or something. And a friend of mine said, oh bro, there's a career fair happening. Now this was off campus. This was from the local Galway City Council or something like that. It is in some so-and-so hospital, so-and-so hotel. So if you come there, you can you should go there. And I was so disheartened because all the first career fair I just tanked it. Second career fair there was not a lot of opportunities in the second career fair, and I was all that like dwelling on the past, saying why didn't I apply and all that. So, and of course I was also tired with the part-time shift and everything, but my friend was like, bro, you know what, there's an Indian food truck who is giving the fasting food like fruits and other khichdi and everything for free. And I was like, for Mahashivratri, and I was like, oh yes, I am fasting, I'm hungry, I don't have anything, I'm a broke student, because of course I was. And then I was like, okay, let's go. So I went to the city center, and then the friend, I'm very glad that he insisted to take me to the career fair. So he said, you know what, let's go to the career fair, meet, like do the normal communication and everything, come back, have this food, and then we'll go back home. I was like, okay, city center aa hi gaye hai, so let's go to the hotel. So I went there, and then this employer, this was the company, and they were hiring, or they were looking for data analysts. And I was like, yeah, I can, go on for a data analyst. And they were looking for an intern, and I was like, I don't mind, I can start with an internship position, because I had no experience, I came as a fresher. So I went there, had a conversation with the HR, and then she was like, oh yeah, fair. We literally talked about, she had once visited Himalaya, and we talked about that, how is India, and is she planning to move again, and all that. So that was a very casual conversation. I got her email, I emailed her right away in front of her, and then that's it. Came back home, had the fasting food like fruits and everything, came back home. After I think a week, I was like, okay, let's DM her about if there's any update or something, and also send my resume as well along with the email. So I sent, oh, we met at this event, and here's my resume, so let me know what you think. If you think I am a suitable candidate for this internship, I would be happy to interview and all that. So she didn't reply, of course. Maybe she was busy and everything, which now the game is getting tougher and tougher, because the time is ticking, and I am desperately looking for a full-time, because I am sick of working part-time 4:30 a.m. morning shifts, and it was wrecking me. The semester was about to end, the whole year was about to end, and I had no job, the loan pressure is piling up, and everything was there, and I was like, shit, now I need to work into it. So let's move to level 3, which is following up. So what I started implementing in the strategy was, once I get the LinkedIn, you usually find out who is the hiring manager. So I started DMing them that, hey, I'm Tanmay, and introduce like a short introduction. Hey, this is me, and here's my resume and all that. Of course, most of them didn't reply, but at least you're trying, right? So I was literally, trying to swim in the water without knowing how to swim. So you just do the maximum effort you can do with your hands and legs and everything. So I started doing that, right, left, center, applying, going to the website, going to the portals, sending requests to the hiring managers, and like dropping them a DM and everything. But then I also had this one lead which I had met, the HR, who had requested me to send the resume, right? So I sent her the resume, and she didn't reply. So I followed up again after a week, and then she replied, oh, thanks for the resume, I'll have a look. And I was like, oh, now I got the lead. So that conversation went back and forth for 5 months, because I don't want to keep this long. This is not a Netflix documentary where I have to create another episode or something. So that conversation went for 5 months. I kept following up, when can I schedule the interview and things around that. So she said, after like a month or two, she just added someone in the CC that, hey, this person has emailed and everything, just look into it, and if you can guide him with the interview process and everything. I was like, okay, now we are making progress. So I started preparing for the interview. I started asking the person, by the way, what are the resources should I prepare for? And then he said like SQL and all the technical stuff would be there. So I started preparing for this, because this was the chance, this was the golden moment. I had this opportunity, I didn't want to miss this opportunity, and I was like, I'll give all my things. So I'll give everything I have, in terms of knowledge, in terms of preparation, everything. And then this person just went away for like a month, and I was like, okay, it was April now. I was preparing for the exams, the final exams around May and everything. April first week is usually the last week, and then in April and May first week there's there are exams. So I was like, okay, let's prepare for that. So I was calm, I didn't follow up or anything. And then after like 3 weeks, I followed up saying, hey, by the way, any update on the interview? And then he replied that, okay, yeah, your profile seems interesting, let's schedule an interview. It will be around like 19th and 20th, so whatever date feels comfortable to you, book an interview. I literally booked the first slot which was available, went in, did the interview. They asked few technical questions around SQL, some advanced SQL and everything, like how to do joins, how to do, like they explained the scenario, business scenario and everything, and then how you can pull that data and show it on dashboards and everything. So I was like, okay, that is done. So the interview went pretty well, and then again the ghosting period started. I didn't hear back from them for at least, I guess, 2 weeks. And then I was still working part-time. The exams were done. Then now the thing was just work on the thesis and stuff. I was like, okay, fair enough. Was heads down working on the thesis. And then slightly like, you know, like this breakdown happens sometimes. So that happened, and I was having a call with my dad, and I told him, yaar, nahi ho raha hai. I want to come back because I'm not getting jobs. I'm getting rejected every single time. Even if I gave this interview, now that person is ghosting and I haven't heard back from them and everything. And he said, just come back and we'll have a look and everything. That's the story you already know probably. But then as soon as I hung up, I got an email saying, congratulations, you have been selected. Just let us know when are you joining. And I was like, shit, I just did my exams. Now I'm doing the thesis. I was like, okay, I can join as soon as possible. Let me just finish my thesis and then I can legally join the company. I can work 40 hours and everything. So that is how I got my job. Not from LinkedIn, but actually going to a random career event, which I wasn't planning to, meeting the HR, following up for straight 5 months, giving the interview and then breaking down on a call, and then finally that moment where I got the job. And I was so happy that the next day I just told my managers in the part-time that I am quitting, and that was the best epic moment. So that's the whole story. Now, as I said, there would be an action plan in the end of the video. So here's what you need to do. First, of course, fix your resume, fix your LinkedIn. Second, focus on applying through LinkedIn. That is fair, but wherever you see the easy apply button, don't go that route, because a lot of people would be using the same thing and you won't stand out, right? So what you can do is either see if there is a hiring manager, drop them a DM that, hey, I'm applying for this post, or you can apply and then drop a post that I have applied to this post and I'm very interested in everything. Now if they don't reply, of course, do follow up. Like in my case, I did for 5 months. So do follow up for multiple times. Maybe you can follow up in terms of DMs and everything, or comment on their post so that they get notification that you have commented and liked their post, and then, you know, like they can then see the DM and it has higher chances of you getting a reply. So do follow up with the thing. And then the other thing which you can do is keep an eye on the networking events, keep an eye on the career fair. And I think that sums up the video. Apply, fix your resume, fix your LinkedIn, fix your own personal brand on all the social platforms, have projects, send cold DMs, do networking. Even if you are an introvert, this is something which you have to keep doing. You have to show up every single time. And if you are getting rejected again and again right away after 3 hours, or even in the morning at all hours, saying unfortunately I can do that, so that's probably because your resume is not getting past the ATS system. So if you want, I have already created a video about how to write and optimize your resume, so that's here, you can check it out. It also has my own resume template in the DM, so have a look, which actually works in Ireland. So have a look and see you there. Bye.